Hey, what's going on, people? This is Alim the Seeking Scholar, here with some more words, wisdom and inspiration. Today I'm down in Middlesex University, London, Trent Park site. I graduated from here a few years ago and I've been asked to come down and do a poetry workshop. That's so cool, man, to be able to graduate from somewhere and get asked to come back to now become a teacher who was once a student. This one today is a story about an old woman who lived up in the forest. Now she's sitting in her house and she's there cozy and she's reading her book and she's listening to the Griot Collection storytelling album by Alim Kamara. And she gets a knock at the door and she says, "Who is it?" And the man who's outside the door says, "It is I. Do you have any food?" And she goes to open the door thinking, it's just a hungry person. But she realizes that it's actually a monster who had a small voice. This little voice, now she can't turn around and say, well, go away, because she knows that the monster can just push its way in the house. So she invites the monster in. And they sit down and she brings a little meal for the monster and she gives it to the monster, and then they're sitting there in silence. Until finally she says to the monster, "What are you afraid of? What are you most afraid of?" The monster says, big bushes with thorns." And the lady says, "Okay." And then he says to her, "What are you most afraid of?" She said, "Well, me, I'm most afraid of gold coins. They scare me. And chicken and chips. I'm so scared of chicken and chips." And the monster says, "Okay." And then they sit down there in silence. And they don't say a word. After about half an hour, the monster thanks the woman and leaves. And the woman is really scared. She's thinking to herself, what if the monster comes back? So what does she do? She goes and finds bushes with thorns and she puts them all around her house to stop the monster from ever getting into her house again. The next day, the monster comes back and sees the thorns of bushes. She sees the bushes, she sees the thorns, he sees the bushes, he sees the thorns, and he panics. And he says, you watch, you old lady, I will get you, you old bag," and he runs off. You know what he does? He goes to a gold mine and he gets lots and lots and lots of gold. Then he goes down to Wood Green, London, Nando's, and he goes and gets chicken with peri peri chips. And he comes back to the house. And he looks and he notices that the woman wasn't obviously able to put the bushes on the roof. And so he jumps on the roof and he says, "You old bag, I'll get you." And he pours in the chicken and chips and he pours in all the gold coins. And he looks in and he goes, "Are you dead yet, you old bag?" And he doesn't hear nothing. Silence. And with that, he jumps off the roof and he runs off. He runs off. He runs off. And there's the woman sitting in her house, eating the Nando's chicken with the peri peri chips. And then, from there, she takes the gold coins. And she moves, because she's not about to stay there again. She moves with the gold coins. Moral of this story: what are you most afraid of? And who are you telling what you're afraid of to? This is Alim, the Seeking Scholar, sharing words, wisdom, inspiration, and weirdness today. Peace out.